All right, the moment you have all been waiting for. What is the Todd Turbo? Let's get into it. So, glow plugs. You have standard and turbo. All right. Standard uses a copper gasket to seal it to the engine. That's the turbo glow plug uses this little angled section near the top. That's what it uses to seal itself to the engine, to the head button of the engine. So the big difference between a standard and a turbo head is the turbo head, because of it uses that section to seal, so the bottom flat part is always in the same place. It's always perfectly smooth with the inside of the combustion chamber. Actually, that one is sitting down in there ever so slightly. If you can see, I can see it. But it's sitting down in there ever so slightly. But that is a turbo head. That is a turbo button. So, what is the Todd Turbo? The Todd Turbo is when you have a standard head button, a standard plug, and you make it as close to smooth like a turbo as you can. So, let's take this random head button. All right, now let's see if this is, so the turbo out of the way. Now we're doing standard plugs, right? You have a short and you have a long when it comes to your standard plugs. So let's see if this head button, let's see if we can tell that it's a standard plug. Let's see if it's short or long. So we're going to try the long first. Oh, wrong one. The long right there. Let's try the long with a gasket. Gasket's on it, and as you can see, the long is sticking up into the chamber. The long is too long. So then it must be the short, right? So let's take the short with gasket. All right, let's put it on there. Now let's take a look. Well, it's not sticking up into the chamber, but as you can see, it's sticking down. It doesn't come up fully to flush with the combustion chamber. It's sitting down in there. So what do, right? You go with the one that's closest, right? That's what you do. Go over which one's closest? No. You do the Todd Turbo. Now, let's take a pause and get into, you never throw anything away. I never throw anything away. I have every single glow plug I've ever used. If they are used and still usable, or even if they do not work whatsoever, I keep every single one. And I have all of the gaskets, the copper gaskets from the standard plugs. So if you take your micrometer and measure, or just trial and error till you find, you go through and you find a gasket, and if you have one that's a little bit too thick, you can shave it down on a sandpaper. But what you want to end up with is as close to a perfectly smooth, perfect fit into that combustion chamber, perfectly flush, almost like a turbo. And that is the Todd Turbo. See you next time.